being the fruit of the Spirit. Christ is coming, and he may come soon, anytime from now. And if all you have is that I got a miracle, not only that, I give miracles to other people. I fast, I pray, I have the gifts of the Spirit, I have the word of knowledge, I have the word of wisdom, and I have faith to move mountains, but your heart does not have that holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. At the end, you'll be of all men the most miserable. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, reading from verse 1, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass and a tinkling cymbal. Verse 2. In verse 2 it says, and though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, the love that works by faith, I am nothing. Look at verse 3. It says in verse 3, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burnt. You know, there are people that are fanatical, and if there is any argument about your church and our church, they can fight. They can say our pastor is the best in the land. No! We have a pastor you have not heard. A pastor is greater, better, and deeper than your deeper pastor. Then they remove their coat and ready to fight. What are they fighting about? They're fighting about opinions. They're fighting about what he says against our people and what he's saying about his people. If you give your body to be burnt and you're ready to defend your ideology, you're ready to defend your religion, you're ready to defend anything that you appreciate, that other people don't appreciate, if you die in that anger, in that annoyance, you die in that hot, furious temper, there's no heaven there. You see, what's important is the fruit of the Spirit will to have the love and the joy and the peace and the gentleness and the meekness and the long suffering and the fidelity, the faith, and the steadfastness, the temperance, the self-control. That's what we need, and that is what shows that we belong to the Lord. But fighting about this and fighting about that and about this other thing, it says will miss the kingdom of God. We're looking at Matthew chapter 24. And I'm reading from verse 24. Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. And it says, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. Don't be deceived. In these last days, there will arise prophets, false prophets, and false Christs that will show great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. In verse 25, it says, behold, I have told you before. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, reading from verse 9, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. The signs that deceive, the wonders that deceive, the miracles that deceive, lying wonders. In verse 10 it says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth. They received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. All they're looking for is the sensational that will make them feel excited. Look at that miracle, look at that miracle. But they do not have the love for the truth, that they might be saved. Look at yourself. Have you shifted your ground? Have you shifted from having salvation to having just signs and wonders and miracles? Look at verse 11. In verse 11 it says, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. There are people, millions of them in the world. Once they see miracle, they don't examine the doctrine the people preach. Once they see healing, deliverance, and once they see some sensational things, that man can pray. And once he prays, look at what happens. They do not look at the false doctrine beneath that miracle. And it says, because of that, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. In verse 12 says that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in righteousness. We're looking at number